All right, so what we've got here, we've got a Yolink vibration sensor. And what I'm planning on doing with this device is using it for my sump pump to help indicate how many cycles it's run. And the reason I'm going with this device, and I'm going to flip it over here real quick to show you, it's got a little 3M sticker on the back. I'm probably going to strap it onto the outflow pipe. But what this is, it's a vibration sensor. It's from Yolink. Again, I got this from Amazon. Put a link for this. But this device will count whenever you have a vibration. Like a lot of times these are used on windows, doors, possibly to detect a vibration. Yolink has a wide variety of devices. The big reason I'm going with this is that it uses a technology called LoRa for the wireless signal, which means that it connects into a hub. There's a Yolink hub, and I've actually got one that has a speaker with it. I'll go into more of that later. But LoRa is preferred over Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi, I have another system that monitors my sump pump, but it's based on Wi-Fi. And since it's down in the basement, I don't really have good Wi-Fi coverage through the house. Now, I could fix that. I could use range extenders, etc. But then also, the other issue is that if you lose your internet, you also would lose your connection for this. And with the Yolink, it connects over this LoRa, which I believe is just short for long range. It actually is a wireless signal that goes up to about a quarter of a mile. And I have tested that on other devices. I actually have a motion detector that is outdoors that will reach pretty good distances. I've got it a couple, 100 feet, 150 feet back from the house, and I have no problems picking up that signal. So I do prefer the LoRa, and it connects, excuse me, to the hub using this LoRa signal, which means that I can connect to it directly through the hub, and I get warnings from the hub. Now, it does also connect to Ethernet. The hub also connects to the internet, and then that gives me the ability to monitor while I'm away from home. Now, I'm really only going to be able to see when the last time it cycled. I'm going to try to do some other things to implement counting the number of cycles and things like that, trying to mimic the system that I have right now that is Wi-Fi based. All right, so I apologize for the dark lighting in here, but this is the sump pit in the back corner of the basement, and this would be the line going up here through there and then out. So my idea is to strap on this vibration sensor on this line. Now you can see I do have a battery backup system, and I do have this device here. I have this Pump Spy device, which is okay, except I do have problems with the Android app freezing up and having to clear caches and data and so on. And again, I changed my Wi-Fi router recently, so it's not even connected right now. So I need to change that. This is an alternate thing. It basically checks the power and can count cycles. I think it checks the current draw, and so it's able to count cycles. Been a pretty good app overall, but like I said, every few months it does freeze up. I got to clear the cache, so it has its issues. And then I have this device here as well that does some remote monitoring when we had this thing installed, this particular sump pump system. We had this replaced a few years ago. We actually had a basement flood. We're kind of in a low spot here, so but the idea here is I want to put the vibration sensor on this pipe and then be able to count the number of times the motor has cycled. Alright, so I got a kind of a crude connection here. This is just like a Velcro strap. I do have 3M sticky tape on the bottom of this, plus I have a Velcro strap. The only concern I've got is, like, over time with vibrations, will this eventually shake loose? I guess we're going to find out, but in the meantime, I'm going to monitor the app. This thing typically runs. We've had some rain, so wouldn't be surprised if it runs here again shortly. But we'll keep an eye on it, see if this does the job. An overall view of the app, the Yolink app, which you can get this. I'm using an Android device. I'm not familiar with the iPhone. I believe there's an app for Apple for the iPhone, but don't quote me on that. You'll have to check. I do know for Android there is a Yolink app, and you can see I've got other devices already connected. I've got leak sensors. I've got door sensors. I've got temperature and humidity sensors set up for this. I actually have two hubs. I've got one hub that's just a normal hub. I've got another hub that is a speaker hub, and the speaker hub will actually, you can program it to say, hey, the front door is open, or the back door is open, or there's a leak detected in the kitchen, or so on. Very helpful. They also have a device which I need to replace the battery. They've got a device here, the Yolink valve shutoff. So if you have a water leak or whatever, you can actually remotely shut off the valve that supplies water to your house, as long as your valve is compatible with that. Now, I do have this vibration sensor, and I've already named it. I'm not going to go through the steps for that, but basically I've got it named as a vibration sensor for the sump pump. And of course, it changed 3 minutes ago because I've been playing around with the sensor. So it's very easy to set up. As a matter of fact, really all you a QR code on the devices when you get these from Yolink, and all you need to do is go to the app and say that you want to add a device, and you just scan the QR code on the device, and it will recognize it and set it up. And it's very easy to set up, and it will detect your hub and connect to your hub. And then as long as you've already got your hub connected up to your Wi-Fi in the house, then it will also automatically be detected there. And so I can go get in the car, drive away, go to work, be wherever, and I can access all the devices here through the Yolink app. Right, it's been a few hours since I've installed the vibration sensor. Right now we're looking at 4 hours, no vibration detected, which I guess is a good sign. I guess we didn't get a lot of rain. So the level's not up. But we can look at the history. Last vibration detected 11:21 a.m., then 11:19. This is probably when I was moving the sensor around and handling it. So it doesn't look like we've actually run the pump since. So we'll keep an eye on it and see how this works. I think I mentioned this app briefly. This is the Pump Spy, which is not a terrible system, but you can see that it really hasn't functioned for me in over a year. I got a couple problems with it. One, I need to update the Wi-Fi because I did change out a router, so it's no longer connecting. But not only that, I typically have run into this situation where it just stops keeping track of the cycle history. It's not a bad system. It does have history information. In this case, it doesn't show anything. But yeah, it wasn't bad, except the app will lock up and you have to constantly clear the cache, clear out the data, and then log back in. And then it might work for a couple months and then go back and do the same thing. So it's not a bad system, but it does have its glitches. Well, I checked the Yolink app this morning, and I see around 8:14 and 38 seconds there was vibration detected, and then the vibration was no longer detected a minute later. So it's basically checking it in like minute intervals, making sure that the vibration is stopped. So that tells me that the sump pump did run about 8:14 last night. And again, those other vibration detections at 11:19 and 11:17, that was when I was handling the device. I already had it paired. I was walking around mounting it on the pipe, and so it was detecting vibration. So this is good. It does seem to work. I was going to say, you do have the ability here as well to download. You see there's a down arrow in the upper right, and you've got the option of downloading the last month, the last 3 months, last 6 months, and so on of data. Now, I've just really started this, so I could select download. Now, it says, do you want to open it? I guess we could open that with a browser. Don't recall what the format is of the data. Oh, okay. So it just wants to download it. So I believe it downloads as a CSV format, which I believe is it's comma separated variable. And what I'm going to do next is I can actually show you how you can open that up. So you should be able to open that up in Notepad, but it will actually make more sense in Microsoft Excel. So we will go further along and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and download the file. Yes, it has a .csv extension on it. I could open it. I do have Excel on my phone. Let's see if it's able to do that here. You could also transfer this file over to a computer and look at it there. So you can actually see, yeah, the device ID. So that's the device ID of the actual sensor. And you can see that there's a state column, a time column. So it says normal alert, normal alert. So the alert would be when the device has detected. Now it's a little difficult to do that on the phone. I could make these columns a little bit wider so they're more readable. But you could also view this on a computer. So this is kind of helpful. I mean, if you're kind of a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet nerd like I am, you could take this data and manipulate a little bit further.